A very good evening to you and welcome to Live at 9 tonight. We start this edition of Live at 9 on a sad note. 21 children and lives lost in a bus accident as these children were heading for a trip in Kapchora. Government action, suspension of school trips by the different schools from government. But taking a look at the last 10 days, we have had these similar incidents. On the 7th of June, we had a fatal head-on collision on the Kampala-Gulu highway that left 14 dead and 28 injured. On the 10th of July, the school bus struck by a train along a railway crossing, leaving 1 dead. On the 16th of July, fatal crash in Kapchora, leaving 21 dead, scores injured. That is for today. And 14th July, we had Mbale Iganga Highway collision. A school trip bus hits a stationary trailer, leaves 1 dead, 15 injured. Now, the government directive is to halt all school trips. That is what the past 10 days have been like on the road, and that opens up Live at 9 for tonight. And now let's get into the headlines. In the news tonight,
among the dead are 6 female and then the other 15 are male.
21 pupils and their teachers die in Kapchora accident.
The ANS staff who stays in the quarters, we had to recollect them. Bus
was said to be in a mechanical fault before the crash. A somber mood engulfs King David Junior School in Deje Mirimo following the devastating road crash in Kapchora.
Every trip or tour are instructed to stop to the nearest police station.
Government suspends school trips after 21 people die in bus crash.
The sun is too hot. We are really suffering.
Death toll in Karamoja famine rises to 19 as communities wait for government aid.
If maybe it will be given weekly, for me I can say at least.
I will make sure that each one of you gets 100 million. So it was a promise from the president.
Former legislators remind government of the presidential pledge of 100 million shillings.
You see my grey hair here, full of wisdom.
And the good news is Toro district authorities to revive tourism sites.
This is NBS Live at 9 with Sheila Dusime.
Once again, welcome to Live at 9 tonight. Let's get into the stories. The death toll from Thursday evening's horrific bus crash slope along Kapchora Mbale Road has risen to 21, with dozens of people still receiving treatment. The Liberty Bus Company vehicle registration number UA10BQ was carrying pupils of King David Junior School in Deje from an educational trip at CP Falls when it crashed, leaving a trail of destruction that has once again raised concerns about the safety of the mountainous route.
From the early hours of the morning, heartbreaking news spread across Ndeje, Murimu Zone in Sabagabo municipality that dozens of children who had traveled to Kapchora for a study tour had been involved in a horrific road accident. Within minutes, parents abandoned their homes, shops and workplaces, all rushing to the school in search for answers. Along Deje Road off Tamale Mirundi Road, the stream of anxious parents swam endless. Some hurried on foot, others arrived on border, each clinging to a single hope that their child had survived. But on reaching the school, there was little information. With no official list of survivors or victims available, disparate families turned to their mobile phones, repeatedly calling teachers, rescue teams and relatives in Kapchora, where the tragedy had unfolded. For some, the calls delivered the worst news imaginable. One by one, parents learned that their children had died at the scene. The confirmation triggered scenes of raw emotions as mothers collapsed in tears and fathers stood frozen in disbelief. The shock proved too much for some. Several parents fainted moments after receiving confirmation of their children's death, forcing neighbors and residents to rush in to offer first aid as others struggled to comfort them. Overwhelmed by pain, grieving parents questioned how school trip meant to inspire learners had ended in unimaginable loss. Some accused the school of prioritizing the trip without doing enough to guarantee the children's safety, demanding accountability as they mourned lives cut short. For others, the organizing wait continued. Every phone call carried either hope or heartbreak. Those who eventually confirmed that their children had survived embraced one another in relief, thanking rescuers before quietly returning home to prepare for the long journey to visit the injured. Joining the grieved families, the acting Minister for Education, Dr. John Chrysostom Muyingo, conveyed government's condolence and confirmed the scale of the tragedy. He revealed that 217 learners traveled to Kapshora. According to the minister, 21 learners, 5 teachers, including the school director, lost lives, while 44 learners sustained serious injuries and are receiving treatment in hospitals in Kapshora and Mbale.
We want an investigation. We want government to get to all the agencies of government to make sure that we get to the root cause of why we have so many deaths. Why? Could it be the roads? Could it be who? Could it be? We want. And once we have that report, we would be able to come up with new guidelines.
The government has introduced new regulations governing school trips, requiring all learning institutions to comply before resuming educational tours following the fatal accident in Kapchora that claimed the lives of learners from King David Junior School. Among the new measures, drivers transporting learners will be required to obtain clearance from the Ministry of Works and Transport, while all vehicles must undergo mandatory inspection before being allowed to carry students.
The Kapchora accident, which claimed the lives of 21 learners from King David Junior School, adds to a growing number of road accidents involving school children and teachers. In the past 2 weeks alone, at least 3 separate accidents involving school groups have been recorded, with fatalities reported in each incident. The recurring accidents have raised questions over the enforcement of existing school transport guidelines that government had earlier issued to regulate educational trips. The previous guidelines required schools to obtain approval from their governing bodies before undertaking trips, notify the Uganda Police Force about planned movements, ensure learners travelled only between 6 a.m. and 6 p.m, among other safety requirements. However, despite these measures being in place, continued accidents involving school trips have exposed gaps in implementation and enforcement.
Approval of trips or tours by governing bodies of the school and education institutions. B, all trips be evaluated for educational value and safety. C, not permitting nursery or kindergarten learners to undertake school trips or tours.
The Ministry of Education and Sports, together with other government agencies and ministries, has now introduced additional measures requiring schools and institutions organizing trips to strictly comply with new safety standards. Under the revised include mandatory clearance of school bus drivers by the Ministry of Works and Transport, mandatory vehicle inspection before school trips or regional inspection for upcountry schools, approval of trips by district education officers, clear identification of school vehicles, among others.
Before any school trip commences, the motor vehicle must undergo strict inspection to verify it is in mechanical state. A primary clearance is handled by the Ministry of Works and Transport.
The new regulations will apply to all educational institutions, from primary schools to institutions of higher learning, according to government.
This regulation will apply across board to nurseries, kindergartens, universal education institutions, universities, and private schools.
However, officials acknowledge that enforcing the new guidelines remains a major challenge. They have called on all stakeholders to report any safety concerns that could put learners' lives at risk. UNATU Secretary General Philbert Baguma says previous challenges were not necessarily caused by a lack of guidelines, but rather failure to enforce existing regulations after they were communicated to schools.
The ministry comes up with guidelines. Sometimes it comes out with circulars, but the follow-up, we are in a situation where schools stubbornly run away from what they are told to do.
As part of the immediate response, all schools currently undertaking educational trips have been directed to report to the nearest police station, where they will receive guidance on safely returning learners to their respective schools before the new regulations take full effect.
Schools that are already in an ongoing study trip or tour are instructed to stop to the nearest police station for further guidance and assistance on how to return to their respective schools.
Government has since suspended all school trips across the country until investigations into the causes of recent accidents are completed and additional safety measures are put in place.
Now, still about the same, in Uganda, road crashes are a major killer of children. Recent statistics from the Uganda Police Force reveal that nearly 500 children under the age of 11 die annually on Ugandan roads, with hundreds more sustaining serious injuries. The daily commute and school excursions are particularly risky periods for young students. Now, key crash facts include some of these, and we'll be taking you through them to give you a history and background of where all these starts from. We'll be looking at some of those statistics there. So the total child deaths, traffic data generally shows between 600 and 900 youth and child fatalities annually due to road traffic injuries. Now, the primary causes, experts blame poorly maintained vehicles, speeding, and a lack of pedestrian infrastructure. Now, the government response, how government has responded to this is the Ministry of Education has placed a hold on all school outings until further notice to improve the student safety. And that is the action from the government. Now, looking at the fatalities involving the school children, the primary causes, experts blame poorly maintained vehicles, over-speeding, lack of pedestrian infrastructure. Those are the primary causes as researched from experts. And how has the government responded? The government's response is from the Ministry of Education that has placed a hold on all school outings until further notice to improve the student safety. Now, later on, we'll be looking at some of your feedback, and the feedback will be to our question for tonight. How can the proposed school trip guidelines be effectively enforced to ensure safety of learners? You can share your feedback, and we'll be going through some of that feedback later on in the bulletin. This is in regard to all the incidents that have been happening regarding children on the road and the school trips that they have been going on. We have lost so many lives with these children, and we want to understand how you think government and the necessary authorities can work together to make sure that the learners on the road and in their schools are safe. Now moving back to our earlier story, the death toll from Thursday evening's horrific bus crash along the Kapchorwa-Mbale Road has risen to 21, with dozens of people still receiving treatment. The Liberty Bus Company vehicle registration number UA108BQ was carrying pupils of King David Junior School Ndeje from an educational tour at CP Falls when it crashed, leaving a trail of destruction that has once again raised concerns about the safety of the mountainous route.
Along the steep Chepkwatit slope, a grim reminder of one of the deadliest road crashes in recent years. School bags, shoes, books and pieces of the bus remain strewn across the roadside where the Liberty bus carrying children from King David Junior School lost control. Witnesses say the bus slammed into a massive roadside boulder, ripping off its roof and throwing pupils onto the tarmac.
Twasanze obuzibu wabaddewo ejjinja eddene eryo lyolabaawo. Ejjinja eryo lyatudde ku abaana nga 8 ne litula ku magulu bwe bati. Abamu badde balamu, abamu lyatudde ku mitwe gyabwe ne bafa.
Abatuuze baawo balabye emmotoka nga si nnungi nnyo ne bagamba driver bamuyambeko bamusitulire abaana kuba nabo balina mmotoka. Bamuteekera eno e Bulambuli, ebbaasi ajje n'ebbaasi yokka abakimeeri naye driver oba yaganye simanyi.
Mmotoka enkadde nnyo wadde n'emipiira zoona zaagwako.
By Friday morning, Kapchorwa District Hospital had confirmed that the death toll had risen from 19 to 21.
Among the dead are 6 female, and then the other 15 are male.
Dozens of survivors remain admitted, while the most critically injured have been referred to Mbale Regional Referral Hospital for specialized care.
We have received an ambulance from Kwen District, and then ours for Kapchorwa and the Red Cross and the one of Miembe have been working since night. So as we speak now, we are evacuating around 4, so we shall be remaining with around 42. They are stabilizing, and our teams, since last night up to now, are still working on them.
The district health officer also commended medical workers, Red Cross volunteers, security agencies, and members of the public who worked through the night to rescue victims and treat the injured.
Government itself, they had given us supply. You can see all those supplies being pushed to the wards. You can flash, cotton, giving sets and others. That is all since last night, because we had just received the consignment, but I want to say supplies were adequate.
The tragedy has also revived concerns about the notorious Chepkwatit and Towei slopes, where several fatal crashes involving civilians, students and military personnel have occurred over the years. Stakeholders are now calling for urgent road safety interventions.
We have had UPDF soldiers where we lost very many lives, over 40 to 60. Students from Kiriandongo, around 22 of them. We lost also others from Masaka. We lost others who were choir members going to Kwen from Lira, over 15. So for how long should we wait for this? For me, the appeal is that 1, Kasarem should have a standby type B OC ambulance. Then we should also, if possible, redesign the roads.
If it means that you don't know how, you can't manage driving from here, we have people that can drive. It can help around until you finish the tour and then you go back.
As police continue investigating the cause of the crash, grieving families have gathered at Kapchorwa Hospital mortuary, awaiting formal identification.
Now, still about the tragedy that befell us today, we are joined by our correspondent and reporter, Sulaiman Sebugwa, who is standing by. A very good evening to you, Sulaiman. What is the latest update? I see there is a crowd behind you. What is the latest update? Are those parents picking their children? What information do you have for us?
It's true, Sheila. I am standing at the March in the Sabagaba Municipal Council, and it was around 6:30 where buses led by police, Red Cross and other rescue agencies reached this place with a number of students from King David Junior School that were able to survive the nasty accident yesterday. And I'm joined with Dr. Aisha Kayongo from the police to tell us exactly what is happening at this place, because we see a number of parents and also students that were recovered.
Sure. Good evening, everybody. We condole together as a country for the loss, the nasty accident that happened. Right now, we are at March in the Sabagaba municipality, where the children that were able to survive the accident have been brought here for more of counseling and therapy, as well as also sorting out those ones who survived and those ones who actually their parents have to come and pick from here. So then what happened, this morning we had been at the school, King David School is located in Ndeje, but then we realized the numbers of the parents that were coming in, the mourners, was just becoming too much. And then when the children arrived in Kampala, they had to secure the RDC, Ministry of Gender, different stakeholders, Red Cross and councillors. Then they agreed to have them brought here at Machinde Sabagaba. Reason being that the space was a little bit small. So right now where you are seeing us is we are getting them through another process of where the children, we had to register those ones who were in position to be brought back to Kampala. So what we are doing right now is a registration and screening for the parents and the children. Then we read out the name of the child. For the parents who are still around here, come pick their child, and then they register and take, because then you can't be certain who can come, a person who could come and take a child that may not be there. So we do a due diligence to make sure that we carry the necessary precaution and due process to make sure that at least for those ones who have survived so far, we are in position to have them given back to their parents. And also actually some of the parents had to drive all the way to Mbale, to Kapchora, to pick, and also those were also able to bring the children, brought them to King David, we registered, and then they were in position to go with their children. Okay,
Doctor, we understand that this municipality is now partly working or operating as a rehabilitation center. So far we want to know how many in numbers have you recovered so far? Okay,
of course some died, up to a total of 21 for now believed dead, but the remaining balance over 40 to 50 around there at this school. So far those ones that we have registered, and we're still doing the registration. Quite a number has been given back to their parents, but like we are going to find some parents had more than one child, had 3, others had 2. So you receive 1, then you wait, because then we are doing in 2 series. The child that have registered first as the trucks we are bringing them in, I mean the buses, because of course we had to use different means of transport to have the children ferried to Kampala. So then we register, a child comes, a parent comes and picks the child, waits. If then those who have got their children and they don't have anything to maybe sort, because remember they even had their school bags, they had the logistics, they had traveled this, then you pick for your child. We've given the children some bit of counseling as well, also therapy to the parents to see how they are going to, sift through with the children till when maybe perhaps after the 2 weeks that the ministry is giving for the school to remain closed a little bit when they return back to school.
Okay, Doctor, maybe lastly, because of time, we see a lot of people still outside the gates of these premises. How are you going to manage these numbers in case many stay there hoping to see their children in the next few minutes? So
for sure, I've tried our best. That's why even so we are still up to here. We are trying our best to make sure at least we calm the people down, because we have actually different nationalities that have been into this scenario. So all we do is to try to communicate as much as possible to make them understand, because right now we are having almost the whole road is closed, but security personnel are on ground, different stakeholders, the military is there, police are there, and also intelligence. So we've tried as much as possible. We are going to remain till when we have sorted all the children that have so far come, because remember it's been a long day. Some of them have been tried to be given something to eat and do some bit of counseling. So we have to remain here till when we are done with all that we have been able to bring. There's another 4 that we are brought maybe later are also going to join on here. So we have to stay here to talk to the public, to let them understand and also know that those kids that we have not yet perhaps maybe got up to today, we may have to proceed from there from tomorrow.
Okay, Doctor, about the bodies lastly, how far and when are the parents receiving the bodies?
Our consultation so far has been here for today, for those ones who survived with the accident. But of course, there are also other teams that are handling for that those who we lost. We have different stakeholders. We've been having groups of Red Cross also handling that, but then we believe as soon as we are done with these ones, there are other teams that are also handling for the dead bodies to be freed from Mbale Regional Hospital, where the majority were taken after the nasty accident, and maybe probably by tomorrow we should be in position to lay the parents who lost their children into the accident also to have access to their children.
Thank you, Doctor.
And thank you so very much. We condole with the country. Thank you so very much.
Sheila, this is Dr. Aisha Kayendo, one of the police officers also handling this issue that is really traumatizing and very, 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 very bad to all the parents of King David Junior School. My name is Sulaiman Sabugo. I come back to you to also...
Thank you very much, Sulaiman. Now he will be giving us updates as they come in from that side. But still about the same, we get to speak to Professor Mohamed Chiguni to expound more on this issue. Where did we fall short as a country for these children, and how do we move forward regarding the school trips or the education of the different children? Now, thank you very much for joining us tonight. Professor, we would want to know, a tragedy befell us today. How do we move on, and where, in your view, is the problem?
Thank you, Sheila. First, we want to condole with the parents and the bereaved families. Is so traumatizing and it's so touching. Losing such children is something that is unacceptable in terms of negligence. But moving forward, one thing we have to know is that I think there's negligence across the board. The rules and regulations and the guidelines are okay and they're available. I want to give an example that last year in May, the Ministry of Education released the guidelines that govern tours and in terms of political behavior within the schools. But when you look at what is happening now, I look at what we call negligence at different levels, at the level of the institutions or the schools, at the levels of the ministry, maybe the supervisors, and we also look at the road networks in terms of the Ministry of Works. Because if we know that the children that were supposed to transport information and itinerary is supposed to be released to the ministry and the police officers and all that, and that's not done, then this is what is happening at the moment. I think what we have to do is to review the rules and regulations that govern the students' tours, and at the same time to put stricter measures in terms of actually having these tours, because the tours themselves are very fruitful depending on the age of the students have been accepted. So I think what the minister has done is so good that you got to put a temporary ban, and then we research. We find out what is missing. We need to fix this gap, because at this minute we have to be informed by what is taking place. It requires actually synergies. The Ministry of Works should be on board, the Ministry of Education on board, and at the same time the institutions and the parents themselves, because we should also be responsible. Just don't allow your child, your child to go because they are going to school also, and you don't have thorough information that requires your child. Spending days away, and you don't know whether the driver who is in charge is actually a professional or is only 1 or 3, because you can't drive such a journey from Kampala to Cape Coral and it's only one person. So these are so dangerous. We need the Minister of Education direction that they did. I want to thank the minister. That's what we have to do temporarily. We go into a thorough check and research into the problem. How do we fix these problems? Because they're persistent. From last year, even now, it's about the same time. Last year it was on Mitiana Road in August, and now this year it's in Cape Coral, and some months before in May it was like that last year. So ministry's decision is key. We need to come up now with a committee that basically needs to look at this so that we can come up with recommendations that are thorough to see how we can protect the posterities of this nation.
Professor, in your view, as an academic, do you think there is any way in which this curriculum can be implemented without the children going for these various trips?
I don't think the curriculum has a problem. It is us, the implementers, who have the problem. Because if we did cancel the trips and the students do not have to go, we're killing one section. That is, there's what we call visual learning, which is key in impacting on the students' learning. That is key. So if we say we are going to dismiss or that section of the curriculum itself, I think there's a disconnect here that we don't have to do. What we have to do is to fix the problems. Because if we went to kill that, that would mean we are going back to a knowledge-based type of education. We are going to pump knowledge into our students. But we require our students to be participating equally. And what they see within the tour opens up their knowledge in terms of debate, in terms of actually being suggestive of what the situation should be like. We have been developing a brain that is going to help us. So I don't want us to say that we can do without, or we say, no, we just need to fix the problems. Just take an example of the road accidents that happen every time. Have we closed the roads and have we suspended the cars that move on the roads? No. What we need to do is to study thoroughly what causes these accidents so that we can move. And the same thing we are supposed to do in terms of education. We need the curriculum, it is key, but we need to find what the problem is like so that we bring back the people who are negligent in terms of the institutions and all the stakeholders, parents, teachers, and the ministry, and even Minister of Works and the police.
Okay, thank you very much, Professor Chigundu, for shedding more light on that. And now we get into the feedback session where I'll be looking at your opinions.
Feedback brought to you by... In business, you need advice, solutions, and sector expertise when it matters.
Your new office space looks great. What's next?
We get it. Absa Business Banking.
Now we get into the feedback and the question for today. How can the proposed school trip guidelines be effectively enforced to ensure the safety of learners? The hashtag is NBS Live at 9. Let's take a look at some of your feedback. Marvin Twinawe says the guidelines should also include school commuter vans. Some schools park kids in those vans beyond the required capacity on a daily. That is from Marvin Twinawe. Tugume Innocent. Schools in Uganda take profits as a first priority, leaving learners' safety minor. Now the school administration needs to take learners' safety as the first priority, not only during travel but in all other school activities. That is from Tugume Innocent. That is some of the feedback coming in regarding what happened today. Now Live at 9 takes a short break and we'll be back with more stories.
How do you make a party? You take time to prepare, to bring all the pieces together, to craft it right. The result, great refreshment. And that makes it time well spent. Club, brewed longer for longer refreshment.
The problem is the foundation.
Do you know the kind of cement I'm using in this foundation? I guarantee you even my grandchildren will come and find this house.
You buy your buy today and get the job done. Strong, reliable, available at hardware shops countrywide.
Hello, Mr. Mukasa.
Hello, how are you?
I'm okay, sir. Are you the broker?
The original one.
I was told you have very good rentals.
That is right. How many bedrooms do you want?
I want 3 bedrooms.
Okay, did I tell you of the price?
Yes, of course. 500,000.
No. This side, the salary went a bit high.
Why?
Because the paint we use is of good quality, so the place gained the value.
Which paint?
Global Paint.
How?
For the ceiling, for us we use Global Matte, and for the inside walls we use Global Silk Vinyl.
Okay, tell me about the outside walls.
Outside we use Global Weather Coat Emulsion so that the walls don't peel.
I'm really impressed. The precision you put while painting, I'm willing to pay any amount.
That is true, because here for us quality is paramount, and the place becomes humidity.
Global Paint, a reliable product.
Are you ready? The NCBA Auto Show 2026 is taking over Kololo Independence Grounds on July 17th, 18th, and 19th, starting 9 a.m. Experience luxury dream cars, vintage classics, thrilling stand shows, and unbeatable deals on vehicle financing and accessories. 3 days, non-stop car entertainment, one unforgettable experience. Tickets are just 20,000 shillings via Missouri Pay by dialing *212# or at the gate. Don't miss Uganda's ultimate automotive experience, the NCBA Auto Show 2026. Brought to you by NCBA Bank.
Go for it.
There is a new era of elegance, and it begins at your event. At Peno Events, we have upgraded with fresh, modern, stylish event pieces designed to transform any space into a masterpiece. From luxury tents to elegant furniture to premium mobile washrooms, hand wash stations, lounge sets, parasols, wooden chairs, modern chair set, banquet setup. Peno Events. Safe, reliable, stylish. Book now.
Malayuni Pride Bank. It is so easy. You just have to maintain a minimum monthly balance of 100K and we'll give you health insurance for free. The bigger the balance, the bigger the benefits. Visit a nearby branch or call 0800 333 999 to learn more.
Pride Bank. Your growth is our pride.
Now, welcome back. In other stories, the death toll in the Karamoja food crisis hits 19 as the region awaits the planned food distribution by government. According to government, each homestead will receive 20 kilograms of posho and 10 kilograms of beans. But even before they receive the relief aid, many residents fear the planned ration will not be enough to meet the needs of large households already facing severe food shortages.
Hope is slowly returning to the parts of Karamoja sub-region as communities await government food assistance. But for many families, that hope is tempered by the concern that the relief may only provide a temporary relief from a deepening food crisis. Residents say the planned allocation of 20 kilograms of maize flour and 10 kilograms of beans per household is unlikely to sustain the large families for long.
This food, the one they're saying a family is receiving 20 kilos of posho, if maybe it will be given weekly, for me I can say at least.
In Nawanatau village, we met a 75-year-old Lomongin Loma. His household has 20 members, including 3 wives, children, siblings, and other dependents. The family says the food ration would be exhausted in just 2 days. A few meters away lives a 70-year-old Munyes Nakain, who heads a household of 15 people. She says the family is anxiously waiting for the food despite believing it will not last for long.
If here in Karamoja we had the feeding centers, for me it will work better than giving 20 kilos per family. Because if there is a feeding center per parish, people come and take breakfast and they go home. People know that at lunchtime we are going to eat. People know that in the evening we are going to have supper.
For some families, however, the assistance comes after loss of their loved ones. In Arechek village stands the grave of Veronica Nachuge, whom residents say died after several days without any food.
Like recently, we registered cases of 3 deaths within this locality.
Children and other older persons continue to bear the greatest burden of the crisis. Survival is now on residue from local brewed sorghum beer.
The sun is too hot, too dry. We are really suffering. Government help us.
Although food deliveries were expected to reach Moroto today, residents say that supplies had not yet arrived by the time of our visit, increasing fears that vulnerable households remain at risk. Community leaders are appealing for a timely distribution of food relief and additional support for larger households, warning that prolonged delays could worsen an already critical humanitarian situation. Hope is slowly returning to the parts of
Now, legal experts have called on the judiciary leadership to review the handling of Dr. Kizza Besigye's trial, warning that the current approach risks undermining public confidence in the justice system. Veteran lawyer Wandera Ogalo says the judiciary should convene and examine the conduct of the proceedings, arguing that the way the trial is being managed is damaging the institution's image. The call comes after Dr. Besigye, through his lawyers from Kizza and Mugisha Advocates, rejected state-appointed lawyers for his treason case.
A letter dated 16th July 2026 and written by Advocate Aaron Chizza of Chizza and Mugisha Advocates has been circulating on social media. In the letter, Chizza urges the court-appointed lawyers in the case of Dr. Kizza Besigye and Haj Obeid Lutale at the High Court Criminal Session to decline the appointment. He argues Dr. Besigye and Lutale have expressly rejected the state lawyers and already have lawyers of their own choosing.
We all as counsel on this team join issues with Aaron Chizza in the letter that he issued. All those issues we are behind him. He's actually airing our views, airing our position and the position of the accused persons.
The 1995 Constitution, Article 28 3D, guarantees every accused person the right to legal representation. It states that a person charged before the High Court has the right to be defended by an advocate of their choice at their own expense. The Constitution also guarantees the right to a fair, speedy and public hearing before an independent and impartial court. Legal Tony Galandi argues that the current situation in Dr. Kizza Besigye's case raises concern over whether those that will be appointed by the state will be acting on clear instructions of the accused.
Our Advocates Act is that you are not supposed to act without instructions. So in this case, who is your client? Is it the state? Is it the accused? The accused, who is supposed to be your client, is saying, I do not want you to represent me. And you are saying, I am going to represent you. That's a contradiction.
Counsel Wandera Ogolo further points to the judicature rules governing state-appointed advocates, which require them to meet the accused, provide legal advice and counseling, submit written confirmation to court within 2 working days after the meeting, and file a certificate of trial readiness at least 5 working days before the hearing. Ogalo says these requirements are not evident in Dr. Kizza Besigye's case and has therefore called for change in approach, not only by the presiding judge but also by the judiciary leadership.
That there should be a change of approach, not just by the judge, but I think the judiciary leadership, the Chief Justice, the Deputy Chief Justice, the Principal Judge, and the Director of Public Prosecution.
Galandi adds that where an accused believes their rights have been infringed upon during trial, they have the right to appeal, noting that the trial judge may continue with proceedings while the legal process takes its course.
And the decisions which he takes, if in your opinion they are in error, if in your opinion they are not convenient for you, the only remedy you have is an appeal. So yes, the judge can still go ahead and take a decision on the matter, as he deems fit.
According to applicable remuneration, state-appointed advocates receive between 400,000 Ugandan shillings to 1.1 million for a full trial, while cases concluded through nolle prosequi attract between 200,000 to 400,000 Ugandan shillings.
The Attorney General has asked the court to adjourn the hearing of habeas corpus petition filed by former Butambala MP Muhammad Mwanga Chivumbi's lawyers for 4 days to allow the government to respond. The family and lawyers are seeking a court order compelling the state to produce him in court, whether alive or dead. Chivumbi has now been missing for 6 days since his alleged abduction on Saturday last week, and his whereabouts remain unknown.
It was our position that the nature of such an application is that it is an emergency application. It is an urgent application. The speed with which court fixed it says it all. So you cannot ask for 4 days for a person who would not know his health condition. So we opposed the application by the Attorney General for the adjournment. But later on, upon discussions, they seemed to suggest that probably they would have a solution by Monday, being a weekend. And that is the solution actually we are seeking from court. So we reluctantly agreed that if the state can promise a solution within these 4 days until Monday, then that is all we need from the state, failure of which we shall proceed with prosecuting our application to ensure that the court directs that the state produces the Honorable Mwanga Chivumbi, dead or alive.